This is me getting one of the most embarrassing achievements in video games.
Yeah, boy.
And this gave me an idea. What if I created the most humiliating gaming profile of all time? So I jumped into dozens of games just to embarrass myself, starting with an absolute classic, GTA 4. Now, this game has an achievement that makes 100%ing it super humiliating. In the Lost and Damned DLC, you can find these bike races, and it's extra fun if you sabotage the competition with a little push, right?
Johnny K's the name. Bye now.
Obviously, I got a little carried away here and ended up doing this over and over again instead of actually playing the race. And sure enough, I came to regret it the second this achievement popped up.
This is fun.
Yeah, now everyone knows that I got good wood by whacking off 69 bikers. But this was just step one in having the most humiliating profile out there. And little did I know, the next achievement would lead me to Hogwarts Legacy. Now look, there's not a ton of ways that you could get mocked in this game. It's honestly pretty laid back until I discovered a secret trophy that's reserved only for evil players. See, all over the map, you can find these adorable cows. But if they're so innocent, the devs shouldn't let me have so much fun by flipping them like pancakes. I had to quickly remember I was doing this for an achievement, and not just because it's hilarious. So after flipping them like 10 times in a row, great, now everyone thinks I disrespect animals inside my free time. Okay, so we're 2 down, but I felt like I truly needed to level up the embarrassment. So I decided to spend my Christmas day booting up Saw 2 Flesh and Blood. Now, this one was pretty simple. Just the act of playing something so horrifying on the holidays is humiliating enough for the devs to say. Obviously, I changed the date to Christmas just so I could get this one. I mean, you guys believe me, right? But next up was South Park's The Stick of Truth. And it was at this moment I realized this video was gonna make me look like the worst person to ever live. Now, I've played this game like 5 times, and it wasn't until I looked at the achievements list that I realized there were 2 absolutely diabolical tasks. At one point during the game, you have to fight aborted zombie fetuses. As if taking a beat down for me wasn't enough for these poor little guys, I now had to fart on the little dude. Well, now that I know the fart button leads to secrets, I had to continue my rampage by finding some innocent animals and sticking up the room 25 times.
You what?
Okay, so you've probably heard of The Forest, creepy cannibal game, yada yada yada, except most people think that this is just an open world survival. Well, there's actually a whole main story where you gotta find your missing kid after a plane crash. And obviously I ignored that like everyone else because I just had better things to do. I mean, sure, the gazebo doesn't do anything, but at least it looks cool. Ah, crap, that's right. I gotta find a missing kid. I'll get to that eventually. Damn, I didn't think they called me out that hard for just playing the game. Okay, so we're officially 7 achievements down. My profile was looking kinda awkward, but it still wasn't humiliating enough. I needed to find more. So I booted up this old game called Penny Arcade Adventures because I heard episode 2 literally had a stuffed rhino with its entire junk hanging out. It's supposed to be a background decoration, but I interacted with it, and apparently, this bulging pouch both repelled and attracted me. Okay, pretty weird, but what happens if I click on these balls a second time? You look again, longingly, as one might gaze at a lover. Being completely honest here, this is getting a little embarrassing, but maybe we'll try it just one more time. The swollen orbs dangle. You feel the tug of their dark gravity. There is meaning here. These balls seem to have cosmic implications. You begin to sense that the balls are staring back. Okay, dude, what is going on here? I've literally been staring at rhino balls for like 4 minutes now. I guess one more click couldn't hurt, right? Yeah, fair enough. And while that secret was pretty difficult to find, there was an even harder challenge waiting for me in Untitled Goose game. Now, there are 2 secret achievements hiding here that I really wanted to get. And thankfully, they both belong to this little kid. He's honestly just minding his own business playing in the street, but look at me. I'm a goose. I'm here to ruin this little dude's life forever. Now, you already gotta scare him into this phone booth to progress the story, but we ain't done there. We gotta straight up terrorize this little guy.
Yoink.
Already pretty brutal, and if that wasn't enough, I had to make sure he wasn't gonna tell his parents. With 10 achievements down, I was wondering, surely I wouldn't have to sink any lower than this just for a joke. But then I discovered what was next on my list, a challenge in Metal Gear Solid 2 that would truly show the world that I was a full-time loser. All I had to do was open this locker and enjoy the, gift that someone left behind for me. I sat there staring at this photo for like 3 minutes straight, and that's when the game was like, that's way too much, dude.
What do you think you're doing, Snake? You don't have enough to keep you busy? Try to remember the mission if you can.
But what the hell, boy?
But hey, I'm trying to stay my profile here, not my pants. So I immediately booted up another game, Far Cry Primal, for an even worse trophy. Well, little did I know, this achievement would make me feel way more guilty than anything I had prepared for. First, I had to make a friend, so say hi to my new pet wolf.
I'm sorry.
You're a monster!
By now, this whole video was actually starting to make me feel bad. I only wanted to mess around a little, get some funny achievements. I don't know, maybe I just needed a break. So to relax, I played some Kingdom Come Deliverance. And honestly, it was a nice distraction from all the crazy stuff I was doing. Well, that's until I beat the game. Come on, man. I was just trying to relax and have a good time. Look, but before you judge me, I swear I can explain. I know that is an absolutely diabolical name for a game, and honestly, it was the obvious choice if I wanted to create the most cursed profile of all time. Luckily for me, I didn't even have to play this one to be embarrassed.
What is that?
But trust me, I was wanting that shower after what I did in Mad Max. Now, I personally love this game. It's always been an underrated gem. Although, I don't think that this achievement is gonna make you wanna play it. You're stuck in the desert. There's no food, no water, so how do you survive? Well, I guess one way to not starve to death is to, find a dead guy. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna have any friends left after this video. And yet, I was even more horrified at what was in store next. Yep, it was time for Postal 2. And if you know anything about this game, you could probably guess I was about to do something unhinged. This achievement was simple, but don't let that fool you, because I had to pee in someone's face until they, well...
That's the ticket.
Oh, and trust me, it gets worse. At this point, I was starting to have my doubts about whether this was even worth it. I mean, did I actually want to be known as R. Kelly's protege? It was now too late to turn back. I had to keep digging this hole for myself. And what a better way to do so than to show everyone that I am a total wuss. You see, for the Amnesia games, it turns out they have a roast just for the cowards. So if you boot up the game, play for a couple minutes and then decide, this is too scary for me, you'll then be given a permanent Cowards badge to stay in your profile.
Nope.
And Hunt showed out as a hardcore multiplayer shooter, so the literal last thing you'll want to do is show people how much of a loser you are. And yet, this was my only mission. I had to find a way to become the game's most useless noob, and all it took was one toilet and a dream. After tracking myself down a nice and private porta potty, I went in and just sat down and waited. And sure, the actual game might be outside of this door, but I kinda like the peace and quiet in here. Here's a question for you guys. Would you rather be an absolute coward or a total creep? I found myself constantly asking this while on my journey because honestly, I hate both of them. However, I was way more embarrassed having to play Still Wakes the Deep, only to stare at this guy showering. I had to do this for like 5 minutes straight, and I'm not exaggerating. I'm sure he doesn't mind. Now, most of the achievements I came across were designed to either embarrass you or troll people who didn't know what they were doing. But then I found a trophy that's so greedy, I just had to have it. It turns out if you want 100% Sniper Elite 3, you need to pay real money. I say this because there's one achievement called Elite Fan that will only show up after you bought the first 3 games. Anyone who falls for this one has to be the world's biggest sucker.
You serious?
Now, this is when I moved over to Yakuza 0. And this series is already insane on its own, but there is one thing you can do in this game that nothing else compares to. The second I had some free time, I went to this place, which has a bunch of videos to choose from on the TV. That tissue box next to it wasn't for crying. That's all I'm gonna say. And yet, I sat here and had to watch the whole thing.
Ho ho.
The funniest part is that I actually did do it for the trophy, yet no one's ever gonna believe me. But it was at this moment that I realized I was nearing the end of my goal to have the world's most embarrassing profile. All I needed was one more achievement, something that everybody instantly recognizes and will laugh hysterically at me for. And I gotta admit, I think I accidentally saved the worst one until last. Because now I found myself playing as an 18-year-old cheerleader and realizing what I had to do. Why was I even doing this? I probably need to see a therapist or something. But then it hit me. I'm doing all of this so you don't have to. The world needs to see what happens when you expose yourself as a total creep. Now, I did have to censor this one a little, so you're just gonna have to use your imagination.
Oopsie.
And that was every video game achievement that you don't want. I'm gonna go ahead and head off to delete my profile now, but it's been Sammy. Keep it here on T5G.